Have you ever stopped to think about how your day just happens? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to reveal the invisible forces, the fundamental laws of physics that are secretly running your entire life. Seriously, from the second your alarm goes off to the moment you fall asleep, you are living inside this brilliant, unseen script.
So what is this invisible script I'm talking about? It's not some grand destiny, and it's definitely not magic. No, it's something way more fundamental. And I promise, by the time we're done here, you are going to see it absolutely everywhere.
Because here's the secret. Physics isn't just some boring subject in a textbook. It's the operating system for our reality. It governs every single thing we do, every interaction, every movement, all the stuff we totally take for granted. So let's start at the very beginning. We're going to follow the physics of a totally normal day, kicking things off with the simple act of getting out of bed. You might be shocked at how much is going on before you've even had your first cup of coffee.
You know, the very first force you obey every single morning is gravity. It's this constant, invisible tether that keeps you, your bed, and everything in your room firmly planted on the ground. It's the reason your feet always hit the floor and not, the ceiling. Think about it. It's the most consistent force in your entire life.
Okay, now think about something you do without a second thought. Just walking. It's actually this perfect little dance with Newton's third law. You know the one. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. As you walk, you're literally pushing the Earth backward with your feet, and in return, the whole planet pushes you forward. It's why walking on soft sand is so exhausting, right? The sand kind of gives way, so it doesn't push back on you nearly as hard.
All right, let's head to the kitchen. When you start making breakfast, you're not just scrambling some eggs. You're basically a little thermodynamic wizard. Every time you cook, you're manipulating heat in 3 totally distinct ways.
So first up, you've got conduction. That's just heat transfer through direct touch, like your pan getting hot on the stove and cooking your food. Then there's convection, which is heat moving through fluids. Think of the rolling boil in a pot of water. And finally, you've got radiation, where heat travels as waves. That's the warmth you feel coming off an oven, or the energy buzzing around inside your microwave.
And of course, not everything handles heat the same way. We've all done this, right? You leave a metal spoon in a hot pot of soup, you grab it, and ouch. That's because metal is a fantastic conductor of heat. A wooden spoon, on the other hand, is a poor conductor. It's an insulator, which is why it stays cool to the touch. That's just simple, super practical physics right there.
Okay, breakfast is done. Time to get going. Whether you're driving a car, riding a bike, or even hopping on a plane, you're about to enter a world that's totally governed by the laws of motion and fluid dynamics, which is just a fancy way of saying the science of how stuff moves through air and water.
If you're getting in a car, you are putting all your trust in one crucial force: friction. It's that grip between your tires and the road that lets you accelerate, turn, and maybe, most importantly, stop. But here's the kicker. When it rains, that water gets between the tire and the road, and it drastically cuts down on that friction. Understanding that isn't just a neat little science fact, it's literally what keeps you safe on the road.
But let's talk about something a little more mind-blowing. We see airplanes in the sky all the time, but have you ever really, truly stopped to wonder how a massive 400-ton tube of metal actually gets off the ground and just hangs out up there? I mean, it seems like it should be impossible, but it's really just a super clever application of physics.
The magic word you're looking for is lift. It's this powerful upward force that has to be strong enough to overcome the plane's incredible weight. But here's the twist, and this is the cool part. Lift isn't created by pushing the plane up from below. Nope, it's all created by a difference in air pressure. Okay, so here's how it works. An airplane wing is shaped in a very specific way. It's curved on the top and flatter on the bottom. As the plane zooms forward, that curved top forces the air to travel a longer distance, so it has to speed up. And a weird rule in physics says that faster-moving air has lower pressure. Meanwhile, the air under the flat bottom of the wing is just cruising along, moving slower and creating a pocket of higher pressure. And that high pressure underneath literally pushes the wing and the whole plane up into the sky. It's that simple pressure difference that makes flight possible.
So, we've traveled, and now maybe we're at work or at school or just catching up with friends. And in our modern world, that means we are surrounded by devices that are just absolute marvels of applied physics.
And the best example has to be that little device that's probably in your pocket or your hand right now, your smartphone. I'm not kidding. This little rectangle of glass and metal is one of the most concentrated displays of physics principles ever created.
Just think about it for a second. The battery inside, it's a tiny chemical factory. constantly turning chemical energy into electricity. The camera uses a whole system of lenses to bend light perfectly to capture a picture. Your Wi-Fi signal, your cell signal, those are invisible electromagnetic waves flying through the air carrying data. And the GPS that tells you where to turn, it's triangulating signals from satellites orbiting thousands of miles above Earth. It's a symphony of physics, all happening right there in your palm.
Okay, so the day is winding down and we're heading back home. But guess what? The physics doesn't stop. Your home is absolutely filled with clever little applications of scientific principles, all designed to make your life just a little bit easier.
I love this one because it completely flips what you think is happening. You think you're sucking your drink up a straw, right? You're not. What you're actually doing is removing the air inside the straw, which creates a little pocket of low pressure. Well, the normal air pressure of the atmosphere outside the straw is now higher, and it pushes down on the surface of your drink, forcing it up the straw and into your mouth. The atmosphere is doing all the work for you.
Here's another common myth. Refrigerators don't make cold. They move heat. A whole system of gases inside the fridge walls absorbs the heat from your food and then pumps it to the outside. Ever wonder why the back of your fridge feels warm? That's it. It's literally dumping all the heat it pulled from the inside, which is what keeps your food fresh. It's a heat mover.
All right, so what's up with this number 2? Well, it's about making a tough job at least twice as easy. It's the core principle behind one of the oldest and most useful inventions in human history.
We're talking about the power of a lever. When you use a simple bottle opener, you're using a basic machine to multiply your own force. A tiny bit of effort from you on the long end of that handle becomes a much, much bigger force on the short end, which is what pops that cap right off. It's just physics giving you a little bit of a superpower. So, we've gone through a whole day, and we've seen how it's powered by all these invisible forces. We've seen physics in how we move, how we cook, in our technology, even in a simple drink. But why does any of this matter? Why is it cool to see the world this way?
Because understanding these basic principles gives you a kind of superpower. It really does. It helps you figure out real-world problems, whether it's why your car is slipping on a wet road or why something isn't cooking right in your oven. It sharpens your logical thinking. And honestly, more than anything, it just makes the world a cooler place. The boring, everyday stuff suddenly becomes fascinating and magnificent.
So, I'm going to leave you with this thought. You now have the lens. You can see the hidden script that runs the world around you. So as you go about your day tomorrow, look a little closer. What invisible forces are you going to notice at play? What new discoveries are waiting for you, hiding in plain sight?